Look the bitch. Back up my fucking mum's place. Let's head inside, yo. Head to bed, wake up. Like school. Head to bed. 7 o'clock fucking morning. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. I am a part of the 2K gang in this area, in the rich area. So yeah, I'm working with the 2K gang. Let's head out. Let's go check the fucking backyard, dude. Shit. It's chill here. Let's watch 5 things to do when the feds come knocking.
Okay, so you're working on Wall Street, you think you have an amazing job. You know what you should be thinking?
Let's have a joint.
How do I stay out of jail? How do I stay out of prison? Our next guest says he might just have all the answers. Mark Powers is a top white-collar crime attorney and a national leader at Baker Hostetler's Security Litigation and Regulatory Enforcement Practice. He's joined by our very own Charlie Gasparino. The 5 things to do to keep yourself from landing behind bars.
Jim Comey, the FBI director, generally doesn't show up to your house, but some other nasty guy in a suit, little FBI thing on the side on his lapel. They come, right, and these guys are trained, I know this for a fact, to scare the crap out of people when they think you're guilty of insider trading. Okay, I'm there, I'm looking at them. What do you tell me to do to stay out of jail so I don't do anything stupid? Because we know people do stupid things all the time when the feds come calling.
Right, first thing, say nothing.
You can't even say hello?
Say hello, say thank you very much for coming here, hear what the person has to say, and say, listen, let me get back to you. You want to collect your thoughts? You want to have a witness to what you say to them, because later on, they have the photographic memories. They're going to be taking notes of every single word you say to them.
Doesn't it make you look guilty if you're like, oh, I'm shutting down?
No, it's actually just the opposite. As the FBI relies upon people doing what I consider to be foolish things. That's just talking to them voluntarily.
And they scare you to try to be... Okay, so suppose they actually do trick you into a conversation of some sort, which, let's face it, we're human beings, we're like, you know. And I know people have, like, urinated in their pants when the FBI... I know this for a fact. I spoke with a lot of FBI...
Or fainted.
Fainted. Matthew Martoma, of the SAC, formerly of SAC before he went to jail, fainted when B.J. Kang, the FBI agent, went to his house. So you start talking to him. You got to be polite to him, too?
Well, you don't want to... They are the government, right? Which is our government. Right. So you don't want to be disrespectful, but the real bottom line is you need to make sure that you've gathered your thoughts. Because it's very important. Another rule to keep in mind is whenever you speak to the government, whether it's the SEC, U.S. Attorney, FBI, you need to speak the truth. You lie to them, and it's a natural inclination for someone that may have engaged in some sort of wrongdoing to kind of want to shade the truth,
so
lie a little bit.
Don't lie.
Don't lie. You speak the truth if you're going to speak at all.
Right.
And and the idea is if you're going to speak to them, you need to realize that, particularly if it's a securities fraud case, let's say it's insider trading or something, where it may just get resolved on a civil level.
Right.
You don't want to turn a civil case into a crime. Right. You lie to an FBI agent, that's a federal offense.
Only speak with an attorney. Now, here's something really interesting. When the FBI showed up to Phil Mickelson on the golf course on an insider trading case, a lot of people, they were trying to scare him. He said, goodbye, I don't want to talk to you, talk to my attorney. Guess what, that case kind of evaporated.
Have a nice day, right?
And it works, right?
Well, Well, look, I mean, the bottom line is you definitely want, the reason why, and although it might sound self-promotional for my legal profession, but you really do want to have a lawyer. The lawyer actually serves a purpose. They act as an intermediary for you. They kind of make sure that what you say is prepared in a way that is coherent and tells the truth. And so therefore you kind of go with that route. But another rule to keep in mind is you really don't want to speak to the FBI, to the SEC, until you've gotten to the bottom of the facts yourself. They're not coming to see you to invite you to some sort of tea party.
Right. They're not your friends.
There are people that are there
to put you in jail.
There are people that are there that are looking to try and figure out if there's a violation of securities laws, if there's a crime that's been committed, and their job is to bring those cases.
We basically have the five there, right? Tell the truth, be cooperative, don't give extraneous. What's the fifth one?
There we go. Always appear cooperative.
Okay.
Always appear cooperative. I mean, the bottom line is what's going to happen.
You speak with an attorney. Here's what I want to ask you. You were involved in the Martha Stewart case.
Yes, I was.
You remember that? You represented Doug Faneuil.
Doug Faneuil,
who was the
tip
broker's
Martha
assistant
Stewart.
that allegedly was the conduit to give the allegedly illegal tip to Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart was never charged with insider trading criminally. She was charged civilly.
She's charged with lying.
Lying about it.
Right.
What do you think made her blow so much smoke? It was kind of an absurd. She claimed she didn't lie, but on just my opinion, listening to the story she made up, it was pretty transparent. It didn't make sense. Why do you think she did that and not just kept her mouth shut?
You know, I come from the perspective of someone that wasn't involved in those conversations between her and the lawyer. But I also always looked at it, wait a second, she went and met with the FBI within 2 weeks of them contacting her. There was no way that, in my view, that her lawyer or she could have read through all the computer files, read through all the emails, and made sure she was properly prepared to know what was there. So either she, in my opinion, ignored good legal advice about not going in so soon, or she, was given bad legal advice.
Right. Bottom line is, keep your mouth shut, say nothing, be Sergeant Schultz, I know nothing.
And be just cooperative.
Be nice.
Go in and speak to them at the appropriate
Here's
time.
a cup of coffee, I know nothing, get lost. Mr. B.J. Kang and FBI.
It is great to have you.
That was great.
Thank you.
That was like,
and if
that
you
was
have trouble, call him.
That was called news you could use.
That's right. Even for people who buy stocks, sometimes the feds show up on your doorstep.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little weird. Why did you buy in advance of a merger announcement?
Say nothing.
Say nothing and be cooperative and call Baker Hostetler. Great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Charlie.
What?
You write for the Post.
Right. Buffett. You were in the New York Post. That's why I forgot. What's that? Well, Liz, I read so much stuff every day, and what I love about you is that you, in many ways, set the trend when it comes to Buffett.
Oh, thank you.
No, listen, every other reporter covers him at these big confabs, but one thing I will say that Buffett knows, he turns to Liz often, and Liz always makes news when he's there. She's there. It's not the typical, let's throw an underhanded pitch to, but you're nice to the guy.
Well, Warren Buffett always said, just so you know, throw hardballs at me.
Right.
I don't think he wants the easy pitches. I mean,
right.
but when it comes to NetJets, which is something he owns, they've got a long-standing labor problem with their pilots right now, and the Post finally picked up on the story, and I thank the Post for quoting Fox Business, because we were the first to talk to Warren Buffett about this. Now it appears that the pilots are, if you believe the pilots union, are leaving in bigger numbers because they're unhappy with the money they're getting.
You know what? A lot of people are...
We have to see all the shows, and there are about 40 of them, so as soon as we can.
I watched the I'm a big on the Tonys.
It's great.
You like the Cleos? The Tonys
I do. The advertising.
I like the Cleos. I like the Tonys.
Charlie, thank you.
What are you eating?
I got an orange.
Huh.
Feel free to skip ahead.
I really hope you guys had a good holiday season. This video is a welcome back to another episode of Swamp Stories. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel. I really hope you guys had a good holiday season. This video is a little bit different. It's not a story, so there won't be any BAMs in this episode. Instead, we're going to talk about the most dangerous cities in America during 2021. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. First, let's talk about something that I feel like is obvious, but I guess some people slept through math class in high school. In almost all of my videos, I get comments saying, bro, obviously this city has a higher rate, they have a bigger population. So let's talk about what a rate is. The number of whatever stat you're looking at divided by the population. So the rate is adjusted for the population of the city. Just had to clarify that so that people in the comments do not go crazy. So next, let's talk about the criteria for the list. This list is based on one statistic: homicide rate in 2021.
Pause it. Let's go outside and chill in the front yard. Like, you know what I fucking mean, dude? Get the fuck out of here now.
Oh shit!
Get up. Get up. Pussy.
And unless you've been living under a rock for the past year, you've noticed that everything has gotten worse in 2021. Some blame it on everyone being in the house for so long, others will say it's the police quitting, and some say it's the music that's causing this. But me? Well, I don't know what the answer is, so I'm interested to hear what you guys think in the comments. Let me break it down for you. 2019 was one of the safest years in over 3 decades in America. Cities like Los Angeles, Oakland, New Orleans, Chicago, and San Francisco had seen their lowest rates in many years.
25 years ago, this was kind of a rough street, and you definitely think twice about walking it alone at night. But since the 90s, crime in San Francisco has gone way down. And not just San Francisco or California, but across the entire country. Nationwide, the crime rate is almost half of what it was in 1991. Thing is, no one knows exactly how or why this happened.
It's been touted as the safest big city. Today, Mayor de Blasio and the NYPD said crime is down in New York.
Tonight, Oakland police say the city's homicide rate has dropped to its lowest level in almost 2 decades. And now the city has a plan to bring those numbers down even further.
But then came summer 2020. And that's when everything changed. FBI numbers show a dramatic increase in violent crime that has gradually gotten worse ever since. The numbers show a 30% increase from 2019 to 2020, then a 34% increase from 2020 to 2021. That would be the highest increase in American history. Something is going very wrong. But in order for it all to make sense, let me break down the significance of the numbers. Cities with a rate of 0 to 2 are considered very safe. Low rates like this are pretty much only seen in countries like Japan, Switzerland, and Norway. Oh yeah, and San Diego. If you know, you know. San Diego and Swamp Stories do not get along. They absolutely flooded my DMs mad because I said their city was safe. Like, bro, you should be happy that you live in a beach town. You could have been born in Detroit. Anyways, then you have rates between 3 and 5, which are considered low and very safe. And really, any single-digit number is considered low. 10 to 15 is pretty standard in American cities. This is where you can start saying that your city is dangerous. Historically, cities like Los Angeles and Houston stay within this range. Okay, now let's talk about the golden number, 30. This is when your city is shooting like Steph Curry. No, but for real, when a city's rate hits 30, that's considered really, really bad. Then when you get into the 50s and up, that's when you have a crisis. Historically, numbers this high have only been seen in countries like El Salvador, Brazil, and Venezuela. Oh yeah, and a small town called East Palo Alto, which still has the all-time record set in 1992. Their rate was 175 per 100,000. No city in the world has ever been that high. Don't believe me? Look it up. Then, another thing we have to consider is clearance rate. This means the percentage of homicides that are solved, technically. But what it really means is that an arrest was made. This number is a sign of multiple things, but one stands out more than any other: community help. If your city's clearance rate is high, it usually means that your city likes to talk. But let's get back on track. Like I said before, 2021 turned up a lot of really, really bad. Then when you get into the 50s and up, that's when you have a crisis. Historically, numbers this high have only been seen in countries like El Salvador, Brazil, and Venezuela. Oh yeah, and a small town called East Palo Alto, which still has the all-time record set in 1992. Their rate was 175 per 100,000. No city in the world has ever been that high. Don't believe me? Look it up. Then, another thing we have to consider is clearance rate. This means the percentage of homicides that are solved, technically. But what it really means is that an arrest was made. This number is a sign of multiple things, but one stands out more than any other: community help. If your city's clearance rate is high, it usually means that your city likes to talk. But let's get back on track. Like I said before, 2021 turned up a lot of cities. So before we get into the top 10 list, let's talk about the cities with the highest increase. I guess we can treat this like the honorable mention list. Also, if your city's on the list and you want to see a swamp story covering it, let me know in the comments. I'll check it out. Honorable mention number 1, Portland, Oregon. What? Portland, Oregon? Yup, that's right. You might be thinking Portland is all hippies, vegans, and soccer moms, and technically you aren't wrong. But things have changed in Portland. In 2016, Portland had one of the lowest rates of 2.5 per 100,000. But in 2021, that number jumps like the honorable mention list. Also, if your city's on the list and you want to see a swamp story covering it, let me know in the comments. I'll check it out. Honorable mention number 1, Portland, Oregon. What? Portland, Oregon? Yup, that's right. You might be thinking Portland is all hippies, vegans, and soccer moms, and technically you aren't wrong. But things have changed in Portland. In 2016, Portland had one of the lowest rates of 2.5 per 100,000. But in 2021, that number jumped to 14 per 100,000. That's nearly a 600% increase. What is going on in Portland? There's no way there are hoods in Oregon, right? Well, if you subscribe, you may find out in the near future. Honorable mention number 2, Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you watched Breaking Bad, you probably know what Albuquerque is all about. A whole lot of Tuco Salamancas and Gustavo Frings. But no, this is real life. And in 2021, Albuquerque broke their all-time record. They had a rate of 18 per 100,000. That's a 300% increase of their rate in 2015 of 6 per 100,000. New Mexico is one of those states that you just forget exists. Sometimes I really wonder if it's a real place. Honorable mention number 3, Oakland, California. 2018 and 2019 were the safest years in Oakland history. The rate had gone down to 16 per 100,000 in 2018. In fact, an Oakland rapper named Baby J would even put it in a song. He would say how disappointed he was that Oakland is safer now. Like, what? Well, his wishes came true, because 2021, Oakland doubled its rate, which came in at 31 per 100,000. This number is really high, especially for one of the most expensive cities in the world. tomorrow. And on top of this, Oakland has one of the lowest clearance rates in the country. In 2021, the clearance rate was under 30%. That's less than half the national average of 62%. You know what that means? Oakland keeps their mouth shut. Honorable mention number 4, Chicago, Illinois. Wait. Does this mean that Chicago didn't make the top 10? Yep, that's right. That should tell you a lot. Chicago came in at a rate of 29.5 per 100,000, which in all seriousness is ridiculously high for a large city. The final number came out to be 797. So let's compare that to other big cities. New York City had 485, but their population is triple the size of Chicago. That gives New York City a rate of under 5 per 100,000. That's safer than Seattle. So when New York people always talk about how tough their city is, make sure to let them know that they run into more trouble in Seattle. No, seriously, Seattle's rate is 6 per 100,000. But another thing to mention about Chicago is that their clearance rate is about 44%. But for them, I don't know if it's about not talking. That's because the DA is known to not charge anything on purpose. They call it a mutual combat. I really don't know what that means. So Chicago people, please let me know in the comments what that's all about. Okay, so now let's get into the top 10 list. Number 10, Atlanta, Georgia. Not gonna lie, this one surprised me. Coming in at a rate of 33 per 100,000, Atlanta has its highest rate since 1996. Well, on a positive note, Atlanta's clearance rate is 84%. My goodness, they really took T.I.'s Crime Stoppers commercial to heart.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, the ward. You know?
Are not afraid to open their mouth when things get sticky. And speaking of sticky substances, Atlanta is no stranger to... Never mind. Not funny. I'm not gonna mess with them. Number 9, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Another unexpected city in my opinion, because you never really hear about Milwaukee unless it's basketball. But then I looked into it, and it's been like this for a while. Milwaukee is nothing to play with at all. Their 2021 rate is 34 per 100,000. That's more than double their 2019 rate of 16. Number 8, Philadelphia. This city should be a surprise to no one. Philadelphia broke their all-time record this year at 37 per 100,000. And on top of this, the city is decaying. Abandoned buildings everywhere, boarded up homes. Oh yeah, and not to mention that Philadelphia's police officers are quitting every day. I mean, hey, can you really blame them? Florida is offering a $5,000 hiring bonus if you move there. But I mean, is that enough money to have to deal with the island boys every day? Number 7, Cleveland, Ohio. Again, this city should be a surprise to absolutely no one. Do you guys remember Joakim Noah's famous quote about Cleveland?
I just stayed in my hotel room, man. But every time I look out my window, it's pretty depressing out here, man. It's bad.
So you're not going out?
No. No going out in Cleveland, man. It's all factories.
Do you regret anything you said about Cleveland?
Do you like it? You think Cleveland's cool? I mean, I never heard anybody say I'm going to Cleveland on vacation. What's so good about Cleveland?
Yeah, Cleveland sucks, man. Terrible weather, ugly houses, and constantly looking over your shoulder. And that's because Cleveland's rate came in at 44 per 100,000. I mean, is there anything good about Cleveland? Number 6, Memphis, Tennessee. I know I said that the last two shouldn't surprise you, but this one should definitely not surprise you. Coming in at a rate of 51 per 100,000, Memphis has a serious problem. Like I said in the intro, 50 is an indication of a really bad situation. Everyone knows about the young Dolph situation, but that doesn't even make up a fraction of the problems in Memphis. I'm not gonna make any jokes about Memphis, not because I'm scared or anything. Yeah, trust me, I'm not scared of Memphis. I keep trying to tell myself that. Number 5, Detroit, Michigan. Man, I love Detroit, so I hate that I have to include them on the list. And because I like Detroit so much, I won't make any jokes about them. Not because I'm scared of them or anything. I mean, what is there even to be scared about? In 2021, Detroit came in with a rate of 54 per 100,000. I always see Bay Area rappers talking about, look how well Detroit rappers get along, everything is peaceful. Well, the numbers say differently. I covered the 6 Mile and 7 Mile situation in a video, but that's only a small part of what's going on. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a Detroit part 2. Number 4. New Orleans, Louisiana. We take swamp stories to the actual swamp. With a rate of 55 per 100,000, New Orleans nearly broke its 2006 record. This is probably one of my most requested videos. I get New Orleans comments all the time, and I'd love to make a video, but everything I look at is personal issues. It just seems like everyone is mad at each other down there. But if you guys have any stories I should look at, please let me know. But yeah, New Orleans is bad. Really bad. Number 3. Baltimore, Maryland. Excuse me, Baltimore. Coming in at a rate of 57 per 100,000, Baltimore is just how you imagine it if you've seen The Wire. It's a wild place, and I'm not sure what's worse, their accents or the crime. If you've ever heard them talk, you probably wish that you didn't.
Y'all want to keep backing the bitch for Baltimore Excellent Challenge Part 2, so here we go. Maryland, Emerson, Orange, Mountain Dew, Hulu, YouTube, Pearl, Water, and Corn.
They sound like British people that are pretending to be from the hood. But in all seriousness,
Baltimore
is a really decaying city, and it's sad to see what it's become. It's so bad that over 500 police officers have quit, and no one is coming in to replace them. That may be a reason why their clearance rate sits around 32%. Number 2. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Okay, do I even need to say anything for this one? Well, let me use 2 words. NBA Youngboy. That should tell you everything that you need to know. Baton Rouge broke their all-time record in 2021 with a rate of 66 per 100,000. My goodness, Baton Rouge, please relax. I promise you, whatever you're mad about can't be that serious. But if everyone there is like NBA Youngboy, then it really doesn't take much to make them angry. Imagine that, you walk into a mall and there's 100 NBA Youngboys walking around. Sounds like a fun time for sure. Number 1. For America's most dangerous city in 2021, drum roll please. St. Louis, Missouri. With a rate of 67 per 100,000, St. Louis is America's most dangerous city. And it's not a city that's talked about a lot because it doesn't really have any big rappers. But St. Louis has had the number 1 spot every Sunday Hoops. Live on TV. And white on demand.
Smash that like button for your boy right now. Get that feeling, man. You know what I'm saying?
Worse, getting whooped for something you didn't do. That's inexcusable. Now, when I was a kid, I got in trouble for many things. I'm sure by watching all my last little videos, you get the point. But every once in a lifetime, every once in a blue moon, a parent makes a mistake. A mistake that one never forgets. See, it's one thing getting punished for something you did, but getting punished for something you didn't do. Oh, no! You're never gonna let that go. Now, for the most part, my parents were fair. Small mistakes resulted in small consequences. Big mistakes resulted in big ramifications. And honestly speaking, everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes are unavoidable, but some mistakes are too hard to let go. And that's where this story begins. So for this story, I'ma take you back to the one time I got whooped for something I didn't do. So it was a bright Sunday morning. Now, just like usual, my parents and I will attend morning service. Then, in the afternoon, went right back to noon service. That's right, 2 doses of Jesus. Back on God. Now, on this particular day, my mom had to skip afternoon service in order to go Christmas shopping for the kids. So my mom comes to my room.
Hey, Tim, what do you want for Christmas?
Oh, that's right. Ain't no white Santa in my crib, my gang. Well, can I get a new Game Boy Advance?
It depends on how much it is.
I don't know. Now, when a kid says, I don't know how much a toy costs, usually means costs a bag. So my mom was like,
how about you go ask your father?
Now, my dad on the other end sucked at buying gifts, but I knew exactly what to do. So I go to my pop's room. Hey, Dad, Mom said I could have the new Game Boy for Christmas. Come on, my guy. You gotta play Mom against Pops. That way, you have a chance. Oh, did she? Well, how much is it? I don't really know. Well, she said you can have it, and she's buying it. That's fine with me. So I went back to my mom's. Mom, Dad said I can have the Game Boy.
Oh, really? Well,
Hey, son, have you seen my wallet? No, Dad. Really? I just left it on a snitch on my blood brother. Oh, no, that's the wall. So I was like, no, Dad, I haven't seen your wallet. So my dad goes to my brother's room. Son, have you seen my wallet? No, Pops. Did you see anyone go in the kitchen earlier? No. Now, this is when I knew my brother was the perpetrator. You gotta remember, I saw my man go to the kitchen, but he's lying now, which obviously means something isn't right. So my dad goes back to his room and continues to search for his wallet. Yo, kid, did you just go in the kitchen? No. What? I just saw you. No, I didn't. Now, it was only a matter of time until my dad suspected one of us for stealing the wallet. So a few moments later, he walks in. Who put my wallet in the living room table? Not me, Dad. Not me. So you two are saying no one took $200 from my wallet? What? $200? My brother is bugging.